Hey, what is up? This is the Falloutcast, episode number 1. I am Christopher, and with me is Jackson Jones. What's up, Jackson?
What's up, Christopher?
Not much, man. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Ready to talk about some Fallout 4 DLC.
Yeah, so tonight's show, we're going to do that. We're going to discuss some of the upcoming DLC that'll be releasing here for Fallout 4, as well as a little story about how both of us got into Fallout 4 and, why we have such a passion for it. And we'll end the show with a tip of the week. And we're going to try to do this every week. Hopefully it'll give listeners something that they can look forward to at the end of the podcast. Yeah, what about that DLC? Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, Bethesda is, of course, god of anything that has anything to do with the DLC. And so within the coming months, they're going to give us a couple new titles. The real only one that's real gameplay add-on will be the Far Harbor that comes out in May. But before that, they're going to release two smaller add-ons. We have Automatron coming out in March, and we have Wasteland Workshop coming out in April. And Automatron is cool because it's bringing back RoboBrain from Fallout 3 New Vegas, the robot that I hate the most because it wound up killing me so many times. What the whole thing about Automatron is someone's released evil robots into the Commonwealth, and it's your job to go hunt those robots, kill them, and after you've hunted and killed them, you are able to then take those parts and go back to your settlement and create your own robot companion. So that one's going to be super fun. There's hundreds of voices you can choose from, hundreds of modifications, limbs, weapons they can do. I don't know about you, Christopher, but I'm going to make an EDE robot, a little iBot to follow me around because I miss EDE from New Vegas. That was awesome. Love that guy. We've also got Wasteland Workshop. That one is different. It's kind of like when in New Vegas with Caesar's Legion, not Caesar's Legion, the Thorn, where you could go and get paid caps to fight in the ring. But what's different about this one is you don't get paid caps, but you still are able to fight in a ring. Wasteland Workshop gives you the ability to trap raiders, deathclaws, mole rats, really whatever you want. And you get the choice to tame them or have them fight in a ring against you, another creature you trapped, or even your own settlers, which will be fun because I'm going to get to see Preston get beaten up by Deathclaw the next time he asks or tells me another settlement needs my help. And then lastly about Far Harbor. That one's exciting. That one is based off, I believe it's Bar Harbor, Maine. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Yeah, Bar Harbor, Maine. And that one is you and Nick Valentine are going to hunt down a girl that has been missing, and you wind up finding a colony of synths. And it's your choice whether there's going to be war or peace on the island. There's tons of confrontation. This is the one I know the least about, but I think that's Bethesda's little way of keeping us on the edge of our seats. And the closer Far Harbor comes out, the more we'll have information on that one. Now, a little bit about prices on these. Automatron is going to be $9.99, so $10. Wasteland Workshop, surprisingly, is only going to be $4.99, which is odd to me because they both seem to have the same amount of gameplay experience and time put into it. But that one's half the price, so that'll be fun. And then Far Harbor is kind of like a fourth of an actual game. They're going to add a ton more land mass, and Bethesda did say that this would be the biggest landmass expansion that they have. So this is going to be $24.99, $25. Christopher, we were going to talk about the Fallout Season Pass price increase. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, when I first heard it, I was like, wow, why are they going to increase the price? And then when I, read a little bit more about it, they actually mentioned that they're actually going to do more than what they initially planned, I guess, based on the success of Fallout 4. So, I guess it's kind of a good thing that we're going to get even more content than what we normally would have with just the $30 DLC. And I know, especially lately, a lot of people online have been complaining about DLC and, like, oh, it's not worth it and stuff like that. Me personally, I've never really had that opinion. Like, it's either I want something or I don't want it. So if I want something and I'm not happy with it, I don't have anyone to blame but myself, because nobody makes me buy it, and I have the DLC or season pass for Fallout on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. So I bought it on all 3 platforms, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad I got it, for $30, versus the $50, because I would have wanted it on all the platforms. And someone's like, well, why would you want it on all the platforms? Well, I mainly played on the PlayStation 4, or that's where I have the most gameplay hours at. And so I definitely want it on there. But if like the Xbox gets the mods like the PC currently has, which is the reason why I played on the PC, just for the mods. But if the Xbox were to get it, I'm definitely going to want to try that on there too. So, I mean, I would have bought it, anyway. I would have bought it regardless, on all 3 platforms, just, because of that, very reason right there is I want to try it out like on all the different systems. And actually not even having anything to do with the DLC, I'm really looking forward to the mods. And I was going to ask you about that. I guess, I want to get off topic, but we could lead into that here in a second. But I wanted to know, because I know you play on the Xbox One, I wanted to know your opinion, if you're looking forward to mods or whatever, and did you have any thoughts on that? Before we get into that, though, what are your thoughts on the DLC?
The season pass price increase, I originally wasn't thinking about it. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And then I saw a video by Mr. Matty Plays, and he explained it as Bethesda trying to force us into buying the DLC. And he didn't say one way or the other whether he was angry about it, but I believe the title of the video was Fallout 4 Season Pass increase, fair or bullshit. And I think his final, he didn't officially say one way or the other, but during the whole video you could tell it's sort of his final decision was bullshit. But he made it a point to tell his all of his viewers that he's going to get it for free anyways. So the whole time he was making it clear that he's trying to take a consumer standpoint, and he felt offended for the consumers who were going to have to buy it. But I have a totally different view. I think Bethesda increasing the price means that we're going to get way more content than what we thought. And Matty Plays said that it was unfair almost of Bethesda to raise the price on us like that. But I think Bethesda just made a mistake on their part, very underestimating how much content they were just going to release. And so once they saw, I think, just how popular Fallout 4 wound up being, they really decided to kick it in the gear. We need to get all this DLC. We need to do all this. We need to get going because everyone's going to want to play this. And so I think the price increase, I don't think they'll do it again. Let's say they release $150 or $500 worth of content. I don't think they're going to up the price again, because that would just be so mean. Yeah. But I think, Bethesda just made a mistake on putting it too low and then underestimating just how much DLC they wanted to do with it. And so I think even at the $50 price that it is now, it's totally fair, because in the article when Bethesda released the 3 DLCs, I'm kind of looking it up right now. That's $40 of content right there. And then at the end of the article, they said they're going to be releasing $60 worth more DLC later in 2016. Yeah. And so with the $50, you're still saving $50, and there's really no reason to be upset about that. I understand if you're a baller on a budget, there's no reason to buy the $50 DLC. But if you're someone like me who has a job, has a little bit of extra money to spend, would I like to spend the $30 instead of the $50? Well, yeah. But am I gonna, protest Bethesda's walls about having a $50 season pass? No way. No. I think it's totally fair that they're doing it, and I support them 100%.
Yeah, I mean, $50 is the standard rate for, almost all DLC anyway. A game like, say, Call of Duty, for instance, they usually have like 4, downloadable content map packs or whatever, and those are always like $15 each. You either pay $60 or you're paying $15 individually, or you can just pay $50 for their season pass. I know, like, Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, that one was the same way. It's like, $50. I'm trying to think of a DLC season pass that I bought that wasn't $50. That actually, when I seen Fallout 4 was only $30, I jumped right on it. I was like, wow, that's cheaper than almost everything that I'm used to. So
yeah.
I mean,
And Bethesda still gave us more than a week, or I think more than 2 weeks. The March 1st is when they up the price, so they still gave us more than 2 weeks to go out and buy it while it's still $30 and get everything they do for free. Yep. I don't know any other one who would do that. Bethesda's was pretty great when they did that.
Yeah, and I actually got DLC. I got one with my Pip-Boy where you got everything. You got the season pass with the Pip-Boy version that I bought. So I didn't even buy that one. And then the other one for the other card I got for the Xbox One, I got that as a gift. And so really I've only spent $30. I bought the one for the PlayStation when it first came out.
Yeah.
So I've only spent $30, myself personally. But had it been $50 now at launch, and I had to buy each of those, I probably wouldn't have spent $150 for 3 separate, season passes or whatever for the download content. I probably would have just bought whatever system that I was playing the most on, which would have ended up being the PlayStation 4. And if anything, I would have bought it on the Xbox One eventually, especially, with the mods and stuff coming. And so what are your thoughts on that? Like being an Xbox player, you think the mods are something that you're looking forward to, or?
I'm definitely looking forward to the mods. When I played 3 and New Vegas on my Xbox 360, I didn't have those both when they first came out because I was still pretty young when those came out, so I had to wait a little bit before I got them. But as soon as I got them, I was able to download mods from my PC and actually with a USB put them into my 360 and play console mods like that. Now I don't know, I'm almost positive you can't do that with the One, because why else would they be releasing a creator tool for the PC to Xbox? So yeah, I definitely miss being able to just go and download a mod and plug it in and play it. So that's going to be super fun. I'm almost more excited for the mods than I am for the DLC because, mods are going to be free. They give people the opportunity to create them themselves. And so it's not where, Bethesda with DLC is saying like, okay, so here's what we think would be cool as like a storyline to the game. And here's what we hope that everyone else will think is cool, With mods, you have a creator or developer that you really like, and I think this tool will give people in the Fallout modding community like real I want to say like fame in the community, because like people who make better mods are gonna have a better response to that and want to keep making better mods. And so I'm just excited to see where this goes. This is a new opportunity for just the whole Fallout community to just grow and become stronger as one. I'm very excited to see this. I'm very excited to play the mods. I've seen some pretty cool mods on the PC that I'm very, very, very excited to play on the Xbox One, given that the creators of those want to make it with the tool and export it for us Xbox One players.
Yeah, and I don't think that the mods, or I don't know, I take that back. Now, I have heard Bethesda or someone, I don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was the Pete Hines guy or I don't think it was Todd Howard. But, they said they were going to try to get it on the PlayStation 4, and then they, were working with Sony on allowing
the way they said it was they'll have it for the Xbox One first.
Yeah, first, yeah.
And then they'll have it for the PS4 later. But they're working hand in hand with Microsoft with this developers tool. And I forget who I read it from, but someone had said that Microsoft wasn't even going to allow Bethesda to do this PC to Xbox One modding system because it takes away from Microsoft's revenue. That doesn't make an ounce of sense if Bethesda is really working with Microsoft, which they are. Yeah. It doesn't make sense why Microsoft wouldn't let them do that.
Yeah, I don't understand how it would take away from their profit because... I mean, they're free mods. Like, they wouldn't make money on it anyway. And,
yeah.
You still have to buy, the game. So, Microsoft would still profit that way.
Fallout 4 is a game that keeps you on the Xbox. And if you're on the Xbox, you see all of their ads for Xbox Live. And, unless you're me and all you play is Fallout 4, you're playing other games on your Xbox. So you're going to need Xbox Live for some of those. And so Microsoft is going to be making a pretty penny no matter what Bethesda does.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Only reason I even mentioned that was because I know when Fallout first launched, it was November 10th. I remember, had one of the, the biggest game weeks ever. I don't remember how much money it was, but I know it was right close to $1 billion or something that they made. I don't know, 800 million or something. They made
intense,
yeah, some crazy amount like that. But like 65% of that was off the PlayStation. So I was, not having the mods on the PlayStation kind of seemed a little odd to me, since that was like the most popular of the 3 platforms in terms of, number of units sold. And so I don't know. It's
I think with that, I think with that, it's just when, I don't know if they did this for the PS4. I'm pretty sure they didn't. But when Fallout 4, if you were to pre-order it, and I think up until a few days ago, if you were to get Fallout 4 with your Xbox One, you got a free copy of Fallout 3. And so I think that just put Bethesda in a place with Microsoft to where everything they do now is going to have to be with Microsoft, because they've already got this Fallout 3 deal going. And I feel... And I've played it on the PS4, and I haven't played it on the PC yet. But the more I play Fallout 4, the more it has an Xbox feel to it. And I've only ever played New Vegas in 3. Well, I played New Vegas on my PC, but I played 3 New Vegas on my Xbox, and just ever since playing those, it just feels like an Xbox game to me. And so I think that's with Microsoft and Bethesda, even with the 65% revenue of that week coming from PS4. I think that's just what keeps Bethesda with Microsoft as far as this whole mod tools, DLCs and whatnot.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I've been playing Fallout 4 on the PC a lot lately, and anytime I go to play it, I immediately plug in my Xbox One controller, and I don't use the mouse and keyboard. It definitely feels more natural with a console controller. The Xbox One works on my PC really well, whereas I don't even know if I can use the PS4 controller. I've never tried, but I actually do prefer the Xbox One controller. I have the Elite, and it's makes Fallout just a much more enjoyable PC game versus having to use my keyboard and mouse. Just feels better, which is weird, because a lot of games I actually feel better with the mouse and keyboard, but Fallout just isn't one of them. It just feels more natural with the console controller. So I think you're right on that. So how did you actually get into Fallout? Like, what drives your passion for it? What got you started, like being a Fallout fanboy, if you will?
Well, it's kind of embarrassing, actually. Okay, so I'm 17 now, so however old I was in 6th grade, before I had moved to California, I lived in Oregon, and I had my friend, his name was Ruben, and we're in social studies class, and he dropped something out of his backpack, and it's a copy of Fallout 3, and I'd never heard of it. I was like, oh, what's this? He's like, oh, it's an Xbox game. You can have it. I don't really play it anymore. And so I thought, okay. So I took it home, I plugged it into my Xbox, and it scared the living crap out of me. I put it in, I'm like, oh, I can't play this. This is ridiculous. So the next week, I take it into GameStop, and I trade it in for, I think it was Gears of War 2 at the time. So my first experience with Fallout, I wound up trading it in for Gears of War 2. Don't
ever admit that anywhere else.
Exactly. So I still have that copy of Gears of War 2. If Fallout hadn't came to me that way, I wouldn't have my Gears of War 1, 2, 3 collection like I have. If I were to play a different game other than Fallout, it would be Gears of War. It's a great game. But after that, I was with Ruben again, and he was playing Fallout New Vegas. And again, still had barely knowledge of the Fallout game. But I thought, oh, this game looks cool. And he says, well, you should know this game. I gave you a copy of Fallout 3. That's when it occurred to me, oh, yeah, that was Fallout 3. Okay, so I went to the store, and I bought New Vegas, because I just remember Fallout 3 scaring the crap out of me. So I bought New Vegas because it was awesome. And I played New Vegas until my little heart just couldn't take it anymore. And then I remembered once again that, oh, okay, I originally did have Fallout 3. So, again, took my dad to GameStop, had him show that, yes, it's okay for me to be playing for mature games. And we bought Fallout 3, and I played that for a long time. I think just the whole way I got into it, with Fallout 3 scaring the crap out of me and all. New Vegas, that's what really made New Vegas my favorite Fallout game. And especially because my grandpa does live in the Mojave, I actually have a real world connection to that. And so that's what really sparked my whole love for Fallout. It's where you're still playing in the real world. It's just the real world that's just been altered a little bit, and so much changes. It's like when you think, like, if I were to go to a time machine 2 weeks ago and told myself not to say this or to say something else, like, how would my life be different now? Fallout is kind of like that, as to where our whole timeline changes is after we drop the bombs on Japan. If you're international listening to this, after America drops the bomb on Japan, after that, we don't necessarily see nuclear power as a weapon, as said in Fallout 4 in the intro. We saw it as a new way of powering stuff. So that's what kept the invention of I believe it was the transistor, and that kept from our modern electronics that we have now. That's what kept everything 40s looking. And, when we finally dropped the bombs, that's what gave you this alternate reality nuclear wasteland that's still somewhat accurate to the real world. And that's what really sparked my love for it, because it just gave me a whole new perspective on just current world, how we live now, how it could be, how it was, and how it could have been if we were where they are, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
It's just a great game in general.
Yeah, I have kind of the same feeling about Fallout 4 as you did with New Vegas, because I live in New England, and I live really close to Boston, and I'm there quite a bit. And once Fallout 4 came out, like, it just, I don't know, I was just like, wow. I was just like, I mean, I know the other Fallout games were based, obviously, like, the Capital Wasteland and Vegas and all this stuff, like, even though it's not like a Bethesda game, it's still a Fallout game. But I mean, I know those are based on real cities and, little towns inside, the larger cities. The same way Fallout 4 is, where, you have like Concord and Lexington. These are little communities inside of Boston, or inside the greater, like, metropolitan area. And because I'm there, so often, and I hang out there. I have friends that live there. I go to Red Sox games, Celtics games, like, all the time, and I hang out there, and I'm just there, and it feels surreal. It's like, wow, like it's crazy, because when I'm like in Boston, like the real city, I start envisioning things from Fallout 4 while I'm in the city. So it's like, this game has just, like, dug its claws into me, or its death claws, like, it's like dug its claws into me, and it's like, look, this is it, like, and it just feels like so real. And I mean, and I've played Fallout 3. Now, people are going to probably boo me and dislike me. I wasn't as big a fan of Fallout New Vegas as I was Fallout 3.
There are a lot of people like that,
Yeah, but I know New Vegas. I don't know. I always see the opposite. I always see, Fallout 4 sucks. They need to make New Vegas 2. Like, I've been seeing that, quite a bit. But I mean, it's not that I dislike New Vegas. I just kind of liked Fallout 3 better. Like, I just preferred that. And then Fallout 4 is just kind of like added on to that passion. For me personally, it's just like, I don't know. It's just something about it that no other game gives me the, quite the same feeling like Fallout does, like, where I feel like I'm in the game. And, I don't know. I love it, man. I think Bethesda has a good thing here. And, I'm looking forward to Fallout 5, even before the download content. I'm like, oh, what city? I start thinking, like, well, I wonder what city they could do.
Exactly, yeah.
I start getting ahead of myself. And I'm
well, even Todd Howard said that they started doing Fallout 4 as soon as, like, almost right after they're done with 3.
Yeah.
So they had Fallout 4 in mind as New Vegas is being pushed out there.
Yeah. And I'm sure they have Fallout 5 the same way. They probably, are working on that too already as we speak. And even just, what was it, a couple days ago, where he says, oh, we have 3 really big projects that we're working on long term. Obviously he didn't say what they were, but, people are going to immediately think of, like, Elder Scrolls, what is it, 6 or whatever. But I mean, I'm still thinking, hey, maybe it is Fallout 5. Maybe it's 4 years away or 3 years away, but, they definitely probably already working on it now. And
yeah, they have just such a good track record of releasing games that people want to play.
Yeah.
And they have such a gold mine right now for this whole Fallout story, because I've never seen it done like this before. Like, I've seen the whole nuclear apocalypse thing, and it's all the same. Like, there's people, and they're going to try and kill you. And if they're not going to try and kill you, they're going to try and eat you. And that's also going to try and kill you. And, that's what nuclear apocalypse, that's what the whole genre is these days. And so with Fallout, it's just a nice different way of seeing the nuclear apocalypse, sorry. But you're saying Fallout 5, they're working on that. I don't think they're working on Fallout 5 at all. I think they're working on Fallout LA instead of New Vegas. Because Fallout, Bethesda, that was just the genius move to switch from East to West Coast. Because now you have everyone who, lives on the West Coast thinking, oh man, this is awesome, Capital Wasteland. Oh wait, there's one for us too? Awesome. So I think it'd be wise of Bethesda to keep on that path, to switch from East to West Coast every other game and still keeping everybody involved.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that, but yeah, you're probably right. I don't know if it would be LA. You think it would be LA? I mean, they've already done what about like Seattle or somewhere, since we've already had like California.
Well, I think Seattle or any northwestern state would be a little too similar to Fallout 3 and 4. Yeah. I've lived in Oregon, and then Oregon and Washington are almost basically the same. And it all has that kind of Fallout 3 feel where it all feels really cold. It's all kind of green. And it's just, it just feels like Fallout 3 in those two states. So I think it would be wise for them to stay in California, Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico, because it's just so opposite from Fallout 3, where there's like greenery everywhere. Like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, there's like green trees. I'm not saying all of the trees are green, and of course they're scorched from nuclear fire, but there's green, in most places. It's not a barren desert it's not a barren desert wasteland. I mean, both of them are definitely wastelands, but I think that New Vegas wasteland is more waste than land. And so I think it'd be smart of Bethesda to stay in that area, because it gives contrast of both the wastelands. But if they were to go middle states like Texas or Oklahoma, that would be pretty fun too.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested, I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves with that, but I want to see what kind of intro they do, because just taking the last 3 Fallout games, 3 New Vegas and Fallout 4, Fallout 3, you're born in the vault. Fallout 4, like you're beat up and you're waking in some cabin or whatever, and then Fallout 4, you and your wife or you and your husband, depending what sex character you play, basically you run off from your home into a vault. So it's kind of like 3 different aspects of kind of the same story taking place, not the same time, but sort of the same time. Or at least the start of the game. Obviously, Fallout 4 is 200 years after the bomb went off, and Fallout 3, obviously you're born in the vault, so it's already happened. But I'd kind of be interested to see how they twist it to tell a story about how you start off your vault life or whatever.
It's odd though, because in New Vegas they mentioned the vault in the intro, but yeah, you had nothing. Like your character had nothing to do with the vaults.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, well, what I've gathered from Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, it's because I think I ponder this stuff all the time. East Coast Fallout seems to be more vault centered than West Coast Fallout, because again, it's more like a wasteland. So I mean, the only vaults were the vault where in New Vegas, at least, that I remember that were a vault worth taking note at all, or whatever vault Doc Marshall came out of. I'm pretty sure that was 21. Vault 21 again for being filled with cement by Mr. House. And then I don't remember the number of this one, but the vault that was just covered in those freaking, what were they called? Like spore creatures that I hated so much. Made the game made that vault no fun to be in because they were everywhere.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. I haven't played New Vegas in a really long time. At least.
Well, I was spending most of my time on 4 anyways.
That's all I've been playing lately. I actually went back and played Fallout 3 here a couple weeks back. I started playing it on the Xbox One because, as you mentioned before, Fallout 3 came with Fallout 4. If you bought it on the Xbox One, you got to download it, and it actually got me going back to play it again, which I hadn't done in a really long time. But all right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll have like a tip for the week. And I wanted to talk about the Parsons State Sane Asylum and getting the key to it, which I've had a lot of people ask me, hey man, how do you do this? Because I did a video on YouTube, and it actually wasn't a video about it. I was actually live streaming, and the title of it was Finding Parsons State Insane Asylum Keys. So I'm looking for the keys. I couldn't find the keys. And I got so many thumbs down for this video because of the title, but I didn't upload it to YouTube. I was just streaming, and while I'm streaming, I'm like, hey, I'm looking for these friggin' keys or whatever. And so, people will go to YouTube because your YouTube gaming videos automatically get like cataloged on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I've had so many people come there and like give it thumbs down. It's like, oh, this has nothing to do with the the keys. It's like, well, yeah, in game when I was streaming, I was looking for the keys. It's like a 2-hour video. But anyway, so I was like, you know what? And that video has a ton of views on it. Compared to my other Fallout videos that I upload or stream or whatever. But so this is a very simple process to it, even though I don't know, it's not simple, but it is once you know how to do it. And real quick, this is like a spoiler alert. So if you haven't done this yet, or it's something you want to discover on your own, go ahead.
Well, I haven't done it yet, so this will be news to me too.
Yeah. Well, see, this is a good tip for you then, because you don't want to like rack your brain trying to figure it out. But basically, go to Parsons State Asylum, Parsons State Insane Asylum. Good God, that's a tongue twister. So go to Parsons. Surround the perimeter, or walk around the perimeter, and kill every little mercenary that you find there. And you're going to notice them because they'll have the body armor with the star on it. And go ahead and kill all of them. I think there's maybe like 7 or 8 of them that you'll kill. Just walk around the entire building, kill everyone you see. Once you do that, you're going to leave there and you're going to go to Bunker Hill. Now, when you go to Bunker Hill, go through the gate. You're going to walk in. They have the little bar area in there, the shops and stuff. And you're going to look for a ghoul. Now, the ghoul, he's going to have the same armor on. He's going to have the chest plate with the white star on it. You walk up to him and talk to him. His name is Edward Deegan. Now, Edward Deegan is going to tell you, hey, my boss, Jack Cabot, wants to have a talk with you. So he's going to put a little marker on your mini-map, and, it's going to be the Cabot House. And that's like in the downtown area, like where Diamond City and the... that's the area is, and the Institute and all that stuff. It's kind of like in that area. It's kind of hard to describe it without looking at a map, but basically go to the Cabot House. I tell you exactly where it is. It's where the Freedom Trail. It's kind of on the Freedom Trail. You'll pass by it. But anyways, go to the Cabot House. Go to the little buzzer. Edward Deegan is going to let you into the house, and you'll talk to Jack Cabot. Now, Jack Cabot is going to send you on 2 missions. The first mission that you're going to go on is you're going to kill some raiders that are trying to loot the Parsons State Insane Asylum. And so you're going to go kill all those raiders, and then you're going to report back to Jack Cabot, and then he's going to have a situation with his sister. She's run off with some guy again, so your job is to go talk to her and convince her to come back. And you're going to end up having to kill some quote-unquote religious nuts that are in the game. I don't remember what they refer to them as, but when you do the quest, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Is it not the child of Adam? Or the children of Adam?
It's not. It is not them. This is a different one. They are basically on the harbor, kind of close to Diamond City once again.
Yes, they're in the theater, aren't they?
Yeah, in the theater. Yeah,
I've seen them.
Yeah, I don't remember what their name for their cult was or whatever. But anyway, so basically they're trying to rob you though. Like you're like, hey, hand over all your stuff, and you can join us. And
like that's how you join the religion. If you go and find that theater, you can meet the head of it, and he'll tell you the same thing.
Yep, he'll tell you the exact same thing. Yep, exactly. But anyway, so once you convince the sister to come back, you go back to the Cabot House, and this is going to be the final portion of the mission. And the Cabot's father, Jack Cabot's father, they actually have him in a cell up under the insane asylum, and raiders are trying to free him. And basically, you're going to have to fight off the raiders, and ultimately you're left with the final decision of, do you kill the father or do you release him? And, you can do it either or. And you can also find a bobblehead in there. It's the hardest bobblehead to get, and so I just wanted to throw that out there. But that's how you do it. If you're, if you can't get into the Cabot House or the Parsons State Insane Asylum, that is how you go about doing it. You have to do it in that order, and it's as far as the bobblehead goes, that's like the hardest one, and you have to do like 5 quests just to get it. Probably took me about 2 hours to do everything in gameplay. So that is it. So hopefully that helps someone, if you haven't done it or couldn't figure it out, and hopefully it didn't spoil it for anyone either.
No, it'll help me out for sure, because I would have never thought of any of that.
Yeah.
I would have just rage quit and threw my freaking controller.
I was so mad. Like I said, I played it for I streamed for like 2.5 hours or something, trying to find the stupid keys to get into the insane asylum, not knowing that I had to go to like Bunker Hill, and I don't know, maybe like a week later, I happened to go to Bunker Hill and talk to the guy, and he's like, hey, you killed all my hired help at the insane asylum, and my boss wants to talk to you. And I thought back about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is how you get inside here. It like dawned on me. I was like, okay. So, yeah, after like, a week and a half of just wandering around the wasteland, I finally, ran into him, and that is how you do it. So, anyway, we'll wrap it up here, and we're going to do this once a week, every Saturday?
Well, that sounds fine by me. Sounds like a perfect day to do podcasts.
Yeah, so we'll do this every Saturday. So be sure, if you're listening on YouTube, to go ahead and give our videos a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You want to tell us where we can find you at, Jackson, online?
You can find me at Fallout News on YouTube. At the moment, I do not have a customized YouTube link, but you can find me on YouTube under Fallout News. You can find me on Instagram at news_Fallout, and Twitter at news_Fallout, and Snapchat also on Fallout News, no underscore, if you just want to do that, and then also Tumblr at news_Fallout. I post a lot of good stuff when I get the chance. Also on Facebook at www.facebook.com/FalloutNews page. That is where my biggest following is, and it's me and we're 3 other guys, and we just post Fallout stuff, and we have discussions about Fallout, and we just love the game, and we love having the following that we do, so we can just discuss the game. Where can we find you at, Christopher?
Yep, you can find me on Twitter at iCrizzo, that's ICRIZZO, and you can find me on Tumblr at iCrizzo.net. And I have a pretty big following on Tumblr, and basically just everything I post is Fallout related. And we will put links in the description where you can find us at all these different spots if you care to do so. But thanks for listening. Have a great day. All right.